Uh, my name is Partha Srinivasan. I'm from Channel Buzz Middle East, and we're speaking to Marc Melton.
Cool.
Apologies. Let's start that again. I'm Partha Srinivasan from Channel Buzz Middle East, and we're speaking to Marc Melton from Konami. Thank you very much for speaking to us.
Absolute pleasure.
Today must be a big day for you. Big announcement. A lot of exciting news. Can you tell me about it?
Yeah, it's something that I think the studio and Konami have been working to for a long time. The Middle East, Arabic football is very important to us. We've spent a lot of time listening to local fans, and of course players locally. It goes back a long way. And what we're finding here is, and I've been at Konami for 3 months, is the love for players locally is something that is overwhelming, and it's when walking through the doors through to actually sitting on the stage there. I've never met so many enthusiastic, passionate people about our product. So for us to then have something to reveal and to show the world exclusive of the new content, and to see everyone's hard work at the studio in Japan to this moment, is very exciting. So I feel as I'm representing Konami in the studio, and I sort of stand slightly in front of them, but those are the guys who are doing all the hard work. So feedback so far has been fantastic around the new game and the evolution and the new concepts that we've got within it. So for me to be here, it's a privilege to be A, with fans, and B, with the other people on the stage, AFC, Sony, and Masuda-san. For me, it's quite an honour, really, in many ways, to be a part of it. So yeah, really exciting.
Excellent. Your association with Pluto goes far bit back as well.
Yeah.
Clearly, this market is important. Otherwise, Arabic content in a game localized to the region is quite hard to come by for most games. Started a couple of years ago with your competition bringing in localization into again a football game.
Yeah.
You're about 2 years off running, but then what have you done that's a different approach to this?
Our approach, again, when we think of competitive products, we don't obsess with what the competition is doing. I mean, yes, it's a friendly rivalry. Our objective is to grow the market for everyone, for gamers who are passionate about their players, their teams, and so on. I think what's different is, for us, is how we've focused today, as you've heard, on core pillars of game, things that are important, such as heart and core, which reflects passion of players based on scenarios and so on. So our approach has been to listen. I think it's very easy just to be told by local retailer distributors what you need is X, and what we want to do is to get a game that is right. And so we have taken time to listen and to put that into play. So what you've seen is just a very measured and respectful step into this by doing things properly. So having Ralph Khalif for commentary to ensure AFC is the right deal for us to do in the region. And these are all small parts that complement the overall gameplay, which is ultimately what people are very passionate about. They enjoy playing pairs. So there are lots of changes, probably too numerous to list out, but the main thing is the exciting evolution of the game, and then also recognising how and what is important for local players and local fans and local consumers when it comes to the licensing aspects of it as well. So what we do is want to ensure that our partners and our consumers feel part of the game. We're doing something, we're listening to people and making a game that they have a stake in. So that for us is important.
All right. So you've clearly worked closely with the local distribution, which is Pluto, in a big way to make sure that this really happened. I'm not going to come to the business aspect of PES as a brand for Konami. It's a huge brand, like you mentioned. Soccer is deeply there's a level of godlike stature given to soccer in a lot of countries.
Yeah. It matters to a lot of people, understandably. Yeah.
But as a leader, you're in charge of the emerging markets. How does PES feature in your territory, and what is the how do you challenge? How do you accept that challenge and customize it?
I think there's no one size fits all approach. Every route for distribution, every culture, every variable in the local economy is different. You compare to the challenges for the rupee in India makes products expensive to go into market locally and for us to effectively compete. So how do we overcome stuff like that? Through to other brand challenges. How strong is PES locally? Is it relevant? Are we doing enough to make sure that the game is relevant for local consumers? Because if we don't care about local consumers, then why should they care about us? So what we're driven by is make a fantastic game based on listening to consumers and put something out that works. But all the regions are very different. It's that usual, that basic sort of business, those pest analysis of political, economic, social, and technological factors. All of those play a part in every market. What we're trying to do is just get the game out there to the fans. And are we challenged by technology? Absolutely. Are we challenged by the economy in different markets? Absolutely. And social shifts as well. All of these things, they create opportunities where social shifts are that there are more aspirational middle class and maybe something like India. But we balance that with, again, it has to be about the product. If we make a bad product, then you can do all the marketing in the world, but people will understand, they will play it, and maybe not like it as much as we would hope. Are our developers perfect? Do we do hit after hit? You can see that across all games in the market. If it was that easy, we'd all be doing it, ourselves. But I'm grateful to be working for Konami, who invest heavily in doing good games and doing things properly and listening to consumers. The distribution part that I look after and work with, it's important that we have distributors who share the same values. If they don't care as much as we do, then we need to work harder or go elsewhere. We have very strong relationships and long-term relationships with our distributors in all the markets that I look after, and it's our joint concern to ensure that we do the best, because, as you say, it is a business, and consumers need to have a good game. But if they're happy, then we sell more products, and everyone is incentivized to support it. So, we're not in the gaming business purely for altruism, but as much as we love to be. But what we are in it for is making great games, and we want to excite and enthuse people about our brands. We're very proud of what we do and what we've created so far, and this year will change things dramatically for us for PES. And so that's why it's so exciting. There is a dramatic shift, and working locally with retailers and with Pluto already. We are plotting our events and our distribution, and it's great for people just to want to discuss stuff. We know we've got a problem where no one wants to talk to us, and I have to work harder. But I work hard enough already. So.
I think one of my last questions, or probably the last question, piracy. This is clearly a big point of pain for a lot of people in the market, not only here but everywhere. But what are you doing as Konami, along with the distribution in the various countries that you deal with, to kind of attack or get rid of it?
It's absolutely it's a big concern in every market, and it is across all media. I've worked in broadcast, I've worked in film. It is the same challenge. There are various schools of thought as to how to address it. Do you say, right, well, do you treat it as a positive impact because people are playing your game? Do you see it absolutely as a threat that needs to be eliminated completely? It's a problem. We invest a lot of money in creating intellectual property and developing games, and we do want a fair return on that. How do we address things locally? We will have to work locally with distribution, because there are things to do that certainly having an Arabic skew, recognising local community, we found will actually have a positive effect, because that SKU will be relevant for a market. So no longer do we have necessarily as many grey imports coming in. It's harder for people to get locally relevant content. So there's not just a one-size-all game that goes into the market. Everyone copies it; it goes everywhere. So we're doing our best, but I guess in every market we're trying to make it easier for people to get hold of our property and our games at a good value price. So
that's going to be my next point, because piracy boils down to probably a couple of things. One is the availability of the game locally, or the price.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
How does the person, how is it reachable for the person to go out into the retail store and pick it up? So is that something of a concern for you in this market?
Absolutely, yeah. We need to have the property that is readily available. Of course, you look at a number of my markets, and distribution isn't as straightforward. There are a lot of challenges around it, and so being a distributor in any of these regions, whoever it is a hard business, because you are having to get your game everywhere immediately, and there are a lot of other variables that affect that. So what can we do? We work with good distributors who can do their best, and we have to try our hardest to support them however we can. So I don't have, if I had the answer to piracy, I'd absolutely be sharing it with everyone. It is upsetting, but what we can try and do is, as you say, is at least reduce the attractiveness of it, and ensure that property is where it should be, right place, right time, and with the right partners. So I think we'll get there, but again, we're still learning. We're still learning about how to do things locally.
Any final comments to our business viewers out there?
No, look, I'm here. I feel tremendously welcome over the last few days and over my first 3 months here, and I hope that what you've seen underlines the long-term investment and belief in the market. It is something of a cliche to say we're going to invest in an emerging market, but it's not easy. It takes time. It takes effort to listen, and then there's a balancing of our what Konami has its corporate goals, Pluto wants to achieve, and consumers as well. So the good news is that it's really exciting, and I'm learning more than I ever have in this market. Certainly for Arabic football, local passion in the Middle East, it's been an eye opener. And for me, I want to do my best for Konami to ensure that the efforts that the studio guys have done translates well into a brand that people love. So again, I don't have all the answers, but
we try.
Yeah, we try, and it's great to have an opportunity to be here.
Well, thank you very much for speaking to us today, and we wish you a lot of luck with this brand going forward. We hope to meet with you soon in the future.
I absolutely hope so. Yeah, pleasure.
Thank you.